Hello. Okay, so let's proceed sa ating topic 2. So this is a continuation of the Unit 7 topic 1. So this is about selecting the subject. So pasensya na kayo sa aking lighting kasi nasira. And ang aking ubo talaga ay kumakati na aking lalamunan. So let's proceed to this one. Topic 2, selecting the subject. So at the end of this lesson, you're expected to characterize a good subject for research, narrow down a broad research subject, and differentiate good and poor subject for research. Now, this is something that you need to really master or to really digest. Kasi your thesis, the success of your thesis or the success of your research paper really depends on your subject. So, pag hindi siya sobrang timely, hindi siya relevant, hindi siya significant, hindi siya appealing to the readers. And the panelists might as well be not interested in your study. Okay? So, saan tayo dito? So, research is often defined as the process of arriving at truth through careful analysis and intensive investigation of phenomena. So one who does research is driven by his or her quest to answer a specific question. But prior to looking into the specific questions to answer, it is indeed but vital to look into researchable topics which in line with your interest. So this is something na tinitake for granted ng iba na porket ito na yung madali, yun na yung kinukuha nilang topic. It doesn't work that way. Your study, your research should be in line to your interest. Like for instance, in my case, nagmuha ako ng thesis, my interest is more on uh, proofreading. Okay? So, mahilig akong mag-check ng grammar, mahilig akong mag-check ng spelling, yung construction niya, yun, mahilig ako doon. Pero hindi ako mahilig na magbasa ng mga literature pieces or literary pieces. So, hindi ko ginaya yung mga classmates ko na kumuha sila ng book and then inanalyze nila, nilagyan nila ng theory. So, do not work on a certain topic na hindi in line sa interest mo. Kasi it will really affect the output or the product that you will make. So in this lesson, you will learn the different characteristics of a good subject for research and how to limit broad subjects. So let us look at the subject example. So this is about food shortage. Now, you are asked to give your own opinion regarding the given topic. So after you discuss your observations, your teacher recapitulates your answers, then move on introducing you to the different characteristics of a good subject for research and the process of borrowing down broad topics for research. So, pag titingnan mo yung food shortage, that is something na it happens all over the world. So, it is very broad kasi ang laki ng scope ng food shortage. As in, lahat tayo nakaka-experience niyan. Okay? So, when looking into a good subject for research, you must consider the following characteristics of a good subject for research. Number one, it must be interesting. It must be something na hindi pa sobrang alam ng mga tao. Though kanina sinabi ko na pwede ka mag-replicate ng mga studies before, but it must be interesting. What is something new about it? Hindi mo lang basta-basta ni-replicate, but you will come up with something that is interesting to your audience na ngayon lang nila nalaman. Okay? And number two, it must be significant. It must be timely. Tulad ngayon. Ano ba yung mga timely ngayon? So, kung isipin mo, COVID, isolation, mental health, diba? So, it must be significant. Okay? Number three, it must be not to be broad. Okay? So, yung sabi ko kanina na, it must be specific. Saan ka ba tumitingin? COVID lang ng Pilipinas? Mental health lang ng estudyante o mental health ng Filipinos? Mental health ba ng mga elementary students? Mental health ba ng college students? So, ganun ka-specific. Okay? Excuse me. And it must be not too technical. Imagine, yung tulad na napag-usapan natin noon, kung maalala nyo, jargons, di ba? We have our own language. So, pag ginamit mo yung jargons mo in your research, probably hindi yun maiintindihan ng lahat. For instance, in our case, pag we don't explain morphology to you, we don't explain semantics to you, we don't explain syntax, you wouldn't understand that because that is our jargons as in English. Diba? So, if we exchange it with grammar, spelling, punctuation, you will understand it. Diba? So, ganun yun. It must be not too technical. And then, number 5, sufficient reference materials must be available for it. So, for example, gusto mo ng something new. Okay? And, tumiming ka sa panahon na bago pa lang yung COVID. It's really hard to find references. So, kung ikaw yung tao na gusto mo ng challenge, then go for it. You push through with your new topic, your unique topic. But always remember that your research cannot work or cannot pass without backup studies. You always need backup studies. You always need related literatures. So, yeah, dapat may sufficient reference materials ka. And choosing a broad topic for research may not be in any way helpful to the researcher. It will only bring confusion and mistake. So, in order for the researcher to have a full grasp of the topic, there is a need to delimit a broad subject identified. Limiting a subject is the process in which a broad subject is narrowed down into a specific phase of the study. Bilisan na natin kasi. Okay, broad topic, food shortage. So, the limited subject, rice shortage in the Philippines today. Diba? So, kasi ang food, very broad yan. Saan ba naglalak? Sa rice ba? Sa ano bang klaseng food, di ba? So, when you delimit your subject, the rice shortage, mas specific siya. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na scope and delimitation. Ano ba yung delimits mo? Ano ba yung hangganan lang ng subject? Ano hangganan ng study mo? So, kailangan mo yun set sa scope and delimitation mo for you to make your research easier. Okay? And manageable. Next is limitation by type, by country, and limitation by time. Okay? So, yun nga. Specific yung country, which is the Philippines. Kunwari sa inyo, kung gagawa kayo ng research about mental health for college students of CSU. Ano yung time? Today or in the year 2020? Mga ganun. So, you delimit your subject to make it manageable. Another example, effects on the country's economic recovery program. So, limitation by consequences and limitation by particular aspect. Ayun. So, yun na yung end. Sana may natutunan kayo and this is something na you really need to uh, really study. Na ngayon pa lang, first year pa lang kayo, you think of what are your interest. Okay? Kasi kami noon, pinapaisip kami, mga second year ata kami noon, pinapaisip kami on what are our interests. Kasi especially sa English, we have different macro skills, right? So we have different studies on it. In your case, you have different majors too. You have different sub-majors. Minors, let's say. So, yun ang gawin nyo. Gawin nyo ngayon. As early as now, you think of your subject. It should be relevant, interesting, significant, not too broad, not too technical, and it should always have backup references or materials. Okay, so that's the end of our topic 2. So kung kaya ko pa, kung kaya pa ng aking lalamunan, I will proceed to topic 3. Okay, bye-bye for now.